Do you know what that means in cow?
I don't know. I don't really speak the...
Oh, I speak a lot of it. It means like, how was your day? Like, what's up?
Oh, yeah, my day was pretty good. I learned how to add voice and speech today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I learned how to gobble like a turkey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you want me to teach you?
Sure.
I could show you the ropes.
I could fuck with that.
I mean, I don't know. I know you know a lot of like, animal sounds. Like you're really good at mooing.
I'm really good at hey wait.
So
you go ahead.
No, I don't. No, we'll save it for later. Okay. So what you want to do is that was very good. What you want to do is you want to like kind of want to lean over. You want your face to be like kind of facing towards the ground.
Okay. You tried to get me in position?
Yeah, we have to get into position to do this.
I didn't realize this was like so serious.
We're actors. It's very serious work.
Bad, sorry.
Yeah, and you're gonna want to let like the skin on your face, like you want it to get loose. You want to unhinge your jaw, and you want it to like to not feel the looseness on your cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna want to make this high pitch noise. You're gonna go. It's like the way she said it. It's like to prep into it, you have to make a dog whimper.
We're very good.
We're very good at that.
You and me.
Like that kind of like.
Yeah.
So you want to like have your cheeks, sagging a little bit. You're gonna want to make that noise, and you're gonna want to like wiggle, like motorboat your face.
Welcome back to the Obligatory Podcast. What is up?
Welcome back to the Obligatory Podcast. I'm George.
And I am Forrest. This is the
Halloween episode!
You guys have been asking, and we are here to deliver.
This is our very first time recording a Halloween episode.
Our very first time. We didn't even do it last year, long distance, and it have turned out badly. No, not once.
No, we did not do that.
Not once, because this year's different. This year's different. This year we're in person.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we're dressed up.
Yep.
Wait, let me give them a little hint.
Okay, for the audio listeners. Video viewers, close your eyes.
Here, guess. I'll make a joke, and you can guess.
Okay.
Mutua. Milk on that thing.
Forrest, I told you explicitly before this podcast not to say that. I told you before this episode. I told you before this episode not to do that because I would laugh. And now,
milk on that
now
thing.
I also look lame in comparison to you. Yeah, I looked in the old toolbox, the old costume box in my room, and busted out these old little numbers. Many of you are very familiar with the beautiful era that was George's costume era.
Yeah, we in fact can't stop talking about it.
No, this might be episode 6 of us bringing it up.
Yeah.
Hopefully this will be the day that we squash it.
No, I'm going to bring that up forever, man. You never lived that down.
Okay.
You still had 2 cow onesies. 2 of your own personal cow onesies in your closet today for me and you.
Well, it's not like I was saving these costumes for a special moment. I have all of my costumes that I have amassed since like middle school.
Okay, I respect that. So this doesn't come from anywhere.
Okay.
But do you understand how that doesn't help your case?
Not... I'll shut up.
Yeah, that's what I fucking thought. Like, hey, you know me.
Yeah,
you know me. I'm a costumes guy. Mm-hmm. Like my...
You've told me in private that you think my milky white costume era was actually pretty dope.
No, I told you that?
You've mentioned that to me countless times.
Definitely, now you're lying.
I am lying.
And I'm not going to go along with that. I'm not going to sit here and spread misinformation. That is
Loose information?
Stop milking all these jokes, man.
Sorry. I'll tip over for now.
Yeah,
I'll tip over for now.
Please, I mean that's just cheesy.
Yeah, you're wearing one of the cow costumes,
dude. Can I say something? I feel good.
Yeah, don't you feel powerful,
dude? I feel nice.
Don't you feel like you could take over like your middle school with that on?
I feel kind of like it's a shield. Sometimes when I'm doing ridiculous things in public.
Mm-hmm.
This counts. It makes me feel like it's so ridiculous and so like obscene to do that I'm like, yeah, Fucking whatever. I can do whatever I want. It doesn't matter.
No.
Like, right before we were filming, me and George went up to some random guy on the street and went, can you take a picture of us? And not even for a moment did I hesitate or think that was wrong or weird. And that guy will probably go and be like, yo, you'll never guess what I just saw. I saw two guys in a cow costume.
Well, I mean, the way that he, like, reacted, it kind of seemed like this was just, like, a Tuesday for him.
This does seem normal for him. It feels normal for me, too.
Because he like, walked up and he was like, we were like, hey, can you take a picture for us? And he went, yeah. Like,
I mean, what the fuck else do you do?
And he didn't even give us a second glance. Oh, actually, when he was walking towards us, he started like looking away from us.
No, he started walking closer to the wall, and he was hoping that I wasn't going to interact with him.
Yeah, but
I made eye contact when he was far away, and then he looked down, and then he saw me kind of like walking diagonally towards him, and then he walked a little bit away, and then I head nodded at him, and he couldn't say no.
Nah, he was like, all right, I'm here.
He couldn't go away from my moveless charm.
Yeah, but you look really good in a cow suit, Forrest.
Thank you.
I don't know if anyone's ever told you that.
Actually, I hear that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, many people come up to me and they tell me about my, little known facts is like I also had a cow face. It was much sexier than yours. And that's, I guess, all I can say about that.
Well, I don't, my cow face definitely wasn't sexy. I would probably use the word maybe charming. Maybe suave.
But I definitely like learned the language of a cow. I'm quite egotistical about my mooing capabilities.
Yeah, okay.
Once when I was in Ireland.
Okay.
It's a place where many cows are.
Yeah, it's a lot of cows are there.
Lots of cows.
I got a lot of cousins over there.
We were staying in some like Airbnb that was like on like a farm, kind of like far away. It was like, and the host was there. She was like this old Irish lady that was really scared of fae because that's still prevalent there.
Fae?
Yeah, as in like fairies and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Because that's still very prevalent there. But we were like walking onto the property, and I noticed this like gate, and I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. I'm gonna go look at the gate. And I look at it, and it's like a big horde of cows, like probably like 40 to 60 cows in this big field. And I'm like, oh, what's up? It's like whatever. Yeah. And then they all start moving back to me.
Oh, all the cows do? Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm like, and they're all like, and I'm all like, sheesh.
And they go, moo!
Exactly. No, but I moo at them, and eventually, like, we're having a conversation. Like, I think it's pretty chill. I think it's chill. And then all of a sudden, I must have said something wrong because they all started rushing at the gate.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, like they all started like flocking towards the gate, and it was. And then I ran away.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
but you say you're egotistical about it?
Yeah, I mean that gave me a real confidence in my mooing capabilities. Clearly, I was communicating.
They definitely understood. Did you like get into a fight with someone about how good you could moo, or was it like? You just like,
no one's ever challenged me after they hear my move.
Well, maybe I'll give you a run for your money.
I would like to hear you try.
I kind of gave living the life of a cow like a good try for a good.
It's true.
3 years.
You are quite the furry.
Do cows count as furries? Do they have fur?
Yeah. Dude.
Is it just animals? Whatever.
Yeah. No, well, it's not just animals. It's animals with fur, and cows most definitely have fur. Because there's also like featheries and scalies and shit.
Yeah, you know a lot about this. Let me give a good moo a try. Maybe you can give me some tips.
No, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Trying to utilize a lot of the voice lessons that I use,
it's important. I know you're taking a class for this, so it'd be embarrassing if I was better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've had more. I'll shut up.
Do you see how it felt uninspired?
It did.
Like, do you think that a cow would settle for some wimpy bullshit like that?
I don't think so.
No, you don't.
Can I try again? Maybe can you give me like a couple like tips or something? Or
I would say that felt like you mooed from your throat.
Yeah. Okay, you're right.
You have to move from your diaphragm.
Yeah.
Moo like you mean it.
Moo.
It was a little flat in the vowel.
It was.
Yeah.
You know what I feel like? I feel like that like dad who like was a football player like in his youth, and now he's like trying to like join like an adult club.
Yeah, it
and
feels like your son just got a skateboard and now you're trying to learn how to kickflip.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just stop.
Yeah, maybe you should.
Maybe
it's really here. Let me just show you one more time.
Okay.
So that you can kind of get this.
Okay. Take your time. That was the most beautiful moo I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah, that's how I get it creamy.
I'll give it just one more good try.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
you idiot!
Oh!
You're nothing.
You're right. I'm sorry.
God.
Forrest, how badly do you want to like pull on my udders?
Do you notice me keep looking at your udders?
I do see you looking down at the huge, beautiful udders that I have on my right above my penis.
Dude, it's so weird to look at. It's so weird to look at because it's right where your dick is.
For the audio listeners, I have, my cow suit has no spots, but it does have massive udders on it. And for the video viewers, I'm just gonna stand up and just like let you get a good look at that.
It's hard not to look at them.
It is hard
because it's like also like color. You know how guys think that like girls don't notice when they're like looking at their chest?
Yeah, no, like sitting here with you, like I see every time you look down, and I mean, personally, like I get it. If you were wearing this suit, that's like the only thing that I see.
Dude, I can't stop looking at your fucking udders. And it's right where your dick is. It's really upsetting.
It'd be like if you just had your penis flopping out of that cow suit. It's like, well, it's right there.
It's the only bit of color on you as well. Kind of like draws the eyes.
Mm-hmm. For the new.
And you're fiddling with them.
I am. I'm yanking them myself.
If I got udders, I play with them.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the first thing you do when you turn into a cow?
Play with my udders.
Probably play with my udders.
Swing them around a whole lot. Helicopter, all four of my...
Exactly. Bounce up and down, see what the udders do.
For the uninitiated or the new listeners of the pod, these costumes are from me and Forrest's middle school days when we were... in a little show called Into the Woods Junior.
Yeah, it was kind of whatever.
I played Milky White. I was really gunning hard for that role. I was the only one.
That's not true. There was somebody that was your understudy.
There was someone who was my understudy who did suffer a heat stroke right after one of the performances.
That fucking disaster of a performance. Me personally, I was, I guess, so irreplaceable that I didn't have an understudy.
Yeah.
Of course, I was Prince Charming.
It's weird that you didn't have an understudy and me, the cow, did. It's like no one else could have fulfilled that role. I would say my talent
was pretty unmatched.
Okay.
Yours, it was in the running.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. So we just decided to bust this out for our Halloween episode. And Forrest, are you a Halloween fan?
I love Halloween. Yeah, I think that it's like... It's not my favorite holiday.
Okay.
It isn't, but it's definitely top 2 to top 3.
Top 2
top 2
guys,
Halloween
please do not click off this episode, please. We promise that was the last one. Wink.
Yeah, we've been really into Haley Welch lately.
Haley Welch's podcast.
No, but I love Halloween. I think it's super fun. I like that it's enjoyable for all ages, like when you're like a kid, it's about getting candy. When you're like a little older, it's about getting candy. Mm-hmm. And then when you're like an adult, it loops back around to like having it, like providing a good time for kids. Yeah. And I think that that's like really nice.
One of my big goals in life is to be like one of the cool houses when kids are trick-or-treating. Yeah. Like gives out like jumbo sized like candy bars or just like the good shit. I don't want to be that house that gives out raisins, but we'll maybe one.
I really respect the houses that have a gimmick, even if it's shitty, but like you put up like a little maze in your yard, or like my parents always had a keg and gave beer to the parents.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's actually kind of awesome.
Yeah, right? So like the kids get candy and then the parents get beer.
Mm-hmm. It's a win-win for all ages.
Yeah. And, so like, I think Halloween, and also like, it must be said I'm from a costumes family.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I grew up going to like Renaissance fairs and stuff like that. Straight up, I think this year, my dad started asking what I was going to be for Halloween. It's October right now. Probably 6 months ago.
Oh, wow. Thinking early.
Yeah, he's been buying things online for like 4 months. Like he's like super into costuming.
How early do you plan your Halloween costumes?
I'm really bad at it.
Okay.
I come up with concepts and then I don't follow through. That's my big thing.
What I do is like right after like a Halloween, I'll start thinking like, okay, what's my next costume? Because I don't come from a costuming family, but I myself am am, as you can tell,
Yeah.
super into costumes. George just put up a compilation of just some costumes from recent memory.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and you do them well. What I like about myself is that I can do. Sorry, that's crazy. What I like about myself is that I can do a real quick and dirty costume very quickly, like no problem, if I need to, and that typically prevents me from planning them. As much as I should, and so I get like, I'm like, nah, I'll be chill. And then it's not chill. And it's like October 30th and it's like not chill.
It's not cool. It's not cool. No, I really pride myself in trying to have like a very accurate costume. I typically dress up as like fictional characters, like actual characters. I don't like dressing up as an idea necessarily. I did that freshman year when I dressed up as a maid, which I'll get into because there are a lot of stories about that maid outfit.
Yeah.
But this year specifically, I have 3 costumes that I'm going as. My solo costume for this year, I'm going as Uncle Grandpa. That's an idea that I had like years ago for a super just like weird niche costume that like
I feel like it's not that niche though. Like everyone knows.
But like in the grand scheme of like Cartoon Network shows, it's
it's also one of the newer ones like for us. Like maybe like a few years down would get it more.
I guess I'm not dressing up as like Finn or Jake from Adventure Time. That's like super out there. But like Uncle Grandpa, like that's the one.
If I saw Uncle Grandpa at a party, I think I'd recognize him.
Because you and I are both like media heads. We're online people.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Think of the average college student. Like they may recognize Uncle Grandpa like the character, but just as a costume,
the red fanny pack, gives it away.
Oh yeah, the red fanny pack is actually the most expensive thing.
Dude, fanny packs are expensive ever since they got popular again.
Yeah, it's rough.
Too expensive.
I'm going as Judy Hopps with my friend Elizabeth.
Yeah, Hop Tua.
Oh, Forrest, come on. that was really good. What's really hard about that costume specifically is like Judy Hopps has this weird like bra chest piece, like chest plate that like is not like
that's not real.
That's not a real thing.
Yeah.
Like that's something that's made specifically for Judy Hopps. So it's really hard to find something to like emulate that. I'm gonna get like a blue tank top and like try to work something out there, but I don't know. You
could definitely, with an amount of cutting. You can cut up any garment into what you need.
That's true.
Is what I think is that's the truth about like people who costume a lot is I feel like they just like are not afraid to cut things and then like glue them together and be like, yep. And it works,
And then I'm also going as Mr. Boss from Smiling Friends with a group of my friends. I don't know if you've seen Smiling Friends. Yeah. But it's growing in popularity, and I need to hop on that bandwagon quick.
You do, because soon it will die.
Yeah, and it's like one of those like popular costumes like of the year that I'm like I can get behind.
What do you think will be the most popular costume this year? What do you think you will like? What do you think you won't be able to get away from?
Did Wednesday come out before last Halloween?
I think so, but also I feel like it's not relevant anymore.
It's definitely not relevant.
I feel like.
Deadpool, definitely.
Deadpool, yeah. I was going to say Deadpool, but Deadpool takes a lot of confidence that I don't know if the average person will have.
No, I definitely have it because I have a Deadpool costume. Yeah. What's come out in recent memory?
That's the thing. I have no idea. What was like...
Borderlands? The Borderlands movie?
I want to say like Barbie, but
that's last year.
That was last year and everybody was expecting to see a lot of Barbies and then didn't. So like what's like the Barbie of this year?
I feel like there's such an obvious answer that we're both like stupidly
and you just
missing.
Said we're media heads.
maybe not
maybe
anymore.
MILF Matter, Disco Mommy?
Disco Mommy costume? That'd be gas. Hey, if any one of you is dressing up as Disco Mommy, please send that to us.
Yeah, dude, that'd be so hype.
That'd be so funny. But I want to take it kind of back old school. I think what's the most interesting about like costumes is what people decided to dress up like as children.
Oh yeah.
So I'm curious as to what some of the costumes you had,
Yeah, I mean, okay, what do you think was your most out there kid costume that you did?
Oh, absolutely.
Because I 100% know mine.
I knew mine going into this episode, and I also have like a little teeny tiny tail to go along with it. It was in 8th grade when I dressed up as Bob Ross. Bob Ross,
I remember this.
The famous painter, ASMR extraordinaire.
Do you think that
Twitch God? Twitch God.
Do you think that counts as childhood?
That's where I stop it.
Okay.
That's where I stop it.
Sure.
I mean, I can throw out like some younger ones.
No. Yeah.
I mean, I'll go through a lot more of them. But Bob Ross is definitely the one that like sticks out in my mind as like one of the prime childhood costumes that I had. I had like the giant wig. You know, I borrowed one of my grandpa's like plaid shirts, like plaid button-up shirts. That's where it all started. The button-ups, the Bob Ross. And that kicked off like a huge like Bob Ross like obsession for me. Like I would go to sleep watching his paint tutorials. For my freshman year birthday. My mom took me to the Bob Ross Museum up in Loudoun, I think.
Sure.
And it was very beautiful. They had like a documentary. I learned just a lot of Bob Ross facts in that short period of time. On that Halloween, I went trick-or-treating with Jack Jaworski from Woodshop Talk.
Jack from Woodshop Talk?
Jack from Woodshop Talk.
I know that guy.
He dressed up as Wolverine, actually. We both were pretty ahead of the curve for Deadpool and Wolverine. And I remember we were trick-or-treating in the neighborhood that we live in. Yeah. Going door to door. I remember someone was dressed up as a mailbox.
A mailbox?
Yeah, someone dressed up as a full mailbox. It was like the classic little like red mailbox with like the little like hand thing like go down.
Was it functional?
I don't remember that much.
You could tug to a mail on that thing?
If you want to say that, you can. I don't remember if that
I'm sure that's what you said in the moment.
I went. But yeah, I remember one of the last houses that me and Jack went to, the lady like opened the door and she was like, are you dressed as Bob Ross? I was like, yes, ma'am. Yes, I am. Aren't I cute? And she looked me in my eyes and she was like, my husband was one of Bob Ross's agents.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and she was like, hang on one second. And she like goes back, she like calls her husband. She's like, Jeremy, come look at this Bob Ross boy. And Jeremy comes on, he's like, oh, I used to work Bob Ross's finances. I've met the guy many times. He's a quite delightful man. And I was like, yeah, I know. And she comes back down and she like has this green Bob Ross shirt. And she's like, instead of candy, my sweet baby child, would you like this green Bob Ross shirt?
Wait, is that where you got that shirt?
That's where I got that shirt that I wore all the time in middle school. It said like happy accidents or some no mistakes, happy accidents, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. She was like, do you want this shirt? And I was like, absolutely. And it fit me like a glove. It's probably my most cherished like Halloween memory because it's just like,
I feel like people don't have like a cherished Halloween memory like that. That's kind of beautiful.
It is really beautiful. It was just like, wow, like I made the right choice.
Yeah, no, you absolutely made the right choice. And it was like that or the Red Power Ranger, and you were like, yeah, that was good.
Like, thank God I was like a fucking weirdo in middle school.
Yeah, I remember you had like a whole Bob Ross phase after that.
Oh yeah, that's probably what set me off. I'm sure I found like Bob Ross like cool.
Yeah, I mean, you had like the Bob Ross like mints and like socks and shit like that.
Absolutely. I actually have a Bob Ross Funko Pop right over there.
Oh yeah.
What a terrible sentence I just said.
No, that's awesome. Have you seen the Funko Pop game?
Yeah. What Funko Fusion?
Yeah, Funko Fusion.
Yeah.
It looks awful. It looks so bad.
I saw Alpharad play like a little bit of it, and I was like, wow, this frame rate is dog shit.
Dog shit, and all the gameplay looked the same. Mm-hmm. But hey, maybe you could be Bob Ross in there.
Maybe there'll be a Bob Ross real DLC. Dreams. I really wish that game was like a sleeper, like.
Dude, it'd be so sick if it was good.
You know what I mean?
And that would be perfect for Halloween too. You know,
a Funko Pop.
Yeah, someone dressing up as like a Funko Pop of some character that they love. Like that's a unique way to do a popular.
Actually, me and Elizabeth have another idea for like a Halloween in the future where we go as Lego Batman and Lego Joker from our shared favorite movie, the Lego Batman movie. So I really like different interpretations of like characters that people dress up as. It's
because like you probably see like 20 Batmans in a night.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's like, what the fuck ever, man, you're Batman. Ooh. But like a Lego Batman, that sticks in the noggin.
Absolutely.
That stays around in the dome because that's like very special.
Yeah. You said that you had a Halloween memory that you wanted to share earlier.
Yeah. One year I went as my OC.
Oh, okay.
For a long time, I'll give a little bit of a preamble because I feel like it needs it.
Okay.
For one day in third grade, my mom made baked potatoes. And I was like, damn, these are really good.
Oh yeah.
And then I decided that potatoes were like my new thing. I like went into school the next day and I was like, have y'all had baked potatoes. They're so good. You know, actually, potatoes every way are so good. Mashed, fries, hash browns. Like, have you ever had a bad potato? Like,
I had a phase where I didn't really like potatoes that much, but I'm coming around to them. I don't like baked potatoes that much, but like fries, wedges, mashed potatoes.
I don't really fuck with baked potatoes that much either. I don't know what got into me. like, they're good. I think they're one of the worst ways to consume a potato, especially that much potato. It's kind of an insane amount of potato to be consuming.
Potato and butter, and that's it?
No. Well, you put like cheese on it and then like sour cream, you know, and like maybe some like...
Yeah, I'm stupid.
I don't know.
Stupid, George.
Yeah, basically you're a dumbass. And in Britain, they have like jacketed potatoes where they like cut it up a little bit and then they put like beans and meat and shit in there. The Spud Bros are like massive on TikTok. They're like a food truck that serve jacketed potatoes. Whatever. So what?
Sorry, guys. Forrest is watching me stroke my udders under the table. Sorry, you keep going.
I know, it's because I said cheese, and then you were like, oh shit, I gotta get on that. And so you're making cheese right now.
Yeah, I'm making some curds.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, so I like came in, and I was like, man, potatoes are so good. Don't you guys love potatoes? And it spiraled into this like massive, honestly, maybe like concerning obsession with potatoes. And I was also super into comic books at the time.
Oh yeah, I know this about you.
So I was like, and I was into like creative writing at the time. So I created this character in my head. Okay. And his name was Super Potato. Ooh. And he was like a version of Superman, basically, that lived in this food world. Okay. And, you know, and I like put people in my life to inspire other characters. Like my sister was the lanky lima bean, which was a villain. And, you know, my friend was clever celery. And, you know, like I had pages of just characters, like lists of characters, like with lore, with powers and like a little lore blurb. Villains. I had armies. Oh yeah. Like the chocolate army. Like it was like, this is a world that I definitely like built and cared a lot about, and I wrote a lot of stories, and I lost them all. Oh yeah, because to my Google Drive delete. I should have saved them, but and they were like shitty, but you know they were kind of awesome. Yeah. So I'm obsessed with potatoes, and I'm like the potato kid in my school, which didn't get me bullied somehow. And I was like the potato kid, like to the point where on assignments I wrote down Super Potato / Forrest. I wrote Super Potato before Forrest. Like this is like a self-insert like
it's like when like Clark Kent accidentally writes Superman, and then he's like, fuck.
Like, I'm gonna call this a situation. Like it was like weird. So, you know, I'm in 4th grade now. I'm still just as obsessed with potatoes. I spent all my time in class like writing potato stories and filling out like this like lore and thinking about the world and like calling myself Super Potato, and like everybody knows about it. Like anybody who went to elementary school with me and like was in close proximity to me like knows about this phase of my life. And I find it deeply amusing that nobody ever has brung it up to me. I bring it up and they're like, oh yeah, and I'm like,
I mean, I think people just aren't thinking about Super Potato as much as like...
But they should be thinking about how weird I was.
Oh, people know that. Like I don't know if Super Potato is like the exemplifying like...
It is. It absolutely is. I went by Super Potato. That's not normal, dog. Like I did that and threw rocks at a kid's neck at the same time. Like think about that.
You should not have been the one with those rocks in your hand.
That's what I'm fucking saying, dog. That's the weird part.
People saw you do that and they were like, that one's the cool one, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe I have a weird skewed perception and I was getting bullied and I don't know about it, but I'm pretty sure I was well liked. So anyways, Halloween's coming up and I'm like, I was in Spirit Halloween with my parents and I saw a Mr. Potato Head costume. Ooh. And I was like, that's a buy. Yeah. Obviously I'm going to go as that. And then I'm like talking to my dad and I'm like, yeah, I don't know, like, you know, I like the idea of being a potato, but like, I kind of wish I could be like Super Potato, but I can't find it anywhere. It's also worth mentioning that my Google Drive Scoogle, for the uninitiated, is school Google account. My Scoogle Drive profile picture, I had Googled Super Potato into Google, and I found a pixelated, like, pixel art, essentially, of a potato with a Superman, like, logo on it and, like, a little, like, blue outfit, if you will. And that was my profile picture.
I feel like I remember seeing that somewhere. I do not remember where.
If you Google Super Potato at home, I encourage you to.
It'll be on the screen for the video viewers.
Probably pop up. You'll probably be able to find it. And like my up to the point where my like Snapchat name was like the potato 444. It was like
wow, you were in the thick of it.
Dude, I cannot stress enough how weird I was about potatoes. So anyways, it's Halloween and I'm like, yeah, I kind of wish I could be Super Potato. And my dad, the costumer that he is, was like, why can't you be? And so me and him like worked together to like draw up like an insignia and like out of like I think construction paper and like glued it to the thing. I got like a cape and like a whole thing, and it was Halloween and it was wear your shit to school day, and I showed up as Super Potato, and to me it was like the biggest deal ever.
What grade was this again? 3rd grade?
Like 3rd or 4th.
Okay.
Yeah, like young enough to get away with it.
Okay, that does sound super cute.
Yeah, and then I went around as Super Potato. I might be able to find pictures of it somewhere.
I'm really hoping that we could like, when we talk about this, we could like flash pictures that like maybe our moms took.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something.
There's one Halloween where I like kind of did an OC. It wasn't like a character that I had previously thought of. It was like a Halloween where my parents were like kind of struggling to like find like a costume for us because we didn't have that much money to just like buy 3 Halloween costumes for like our kids. You know, we have to like scrounge something up. So I remember my mom was like giving shit to like Alex and giving shit to Dimitri, and she's like looking in the closet and she found like this giant brown robe, I guess. All right. That was kind of like, you know, spiritual. It might have come from like the church that we were going to. Sure. And she handed it to me and she was like, here you go, George. You're now a monk.
Oh, yeah. You're a monk. And then she shaved your head into the cul-de-sac?
Well, actually, the opposite. What? I pulled out the Bob Ross wig. That was a wig that my family had for many years. Obviously. So I pulled out the wig and I was like, I put it on me and I put on the monk outfit and I was like, now I'm Sebastian. I'm Sebastian the monk. And my mom went, fuck yeah, you are. And now I'm going around to all these houses for Halloween. And this was before I moved to the place that I live now. Yeah. This was like in my old neighborhood. And I'm going up to these houses and they're like, what are you supposed to be? And I go, I'm Sebastian the monk. And they're like, that's the new kids show that people are talking about. Sebastian the monk. He's going around asking for candy. You probably
caused many middle-aged people to like go up to their kid or like go up to their partners and be like, so there was like one kid. Have you heard of Sebastian the monk? Are they programming like, I'm not super comfortable if they're programming like super religious like have you heard of this
Buddhist
show?
We don't like Sebastian the monk being, you know, the new guy. You know what I mean? Converting kids to Sebastianism. That's the new religion that he's promoting.
I believe that you thought that.
I dressed up as Wario for one Halloween. That was a very cute Halloween.
That is awesome. Actually.
I do have like I know I have a picture of him of me as Wario like on my phone. It's very cute. And it's a nice contrast because later on I dressed up as Waluigi. You know, I bought that costume for Halloween when it was like the whole like where's Waluigi thing for like Smash Brothers was going on.
Oh yeah, I hated that shit.
Yeah, it was really rough for me.
I remember you were super into it.
It upset me at the time. Yeah. Because at the time I was like, I want Waluigi in Smash too. I wanted him before everyone was like, where's Waluigi? Yeah. And then like they started like hating on like the creator of Smash, and it was like a whole thing, and he was like, I fucking hate Waluigi, he'll never be in the game. And I was like, no, that's like the one guy
they ruined it, honestly.
But yeah, it's nice to compare and contrast like little George as Wario and big George as Waluigi. Yeah. I remember one year my mom took me to a parade, like a Halloween parade, and she was like, she did like I was going as a zombie because I also had a big zombie phase, you know. Of course. Kind of similar to Forrest. I wrote a book. I've already talked about this, but I wrote a book about the zombie apocalypse with my 6th grade class. I was super into zombies, and one year she just like did my makeup like all green and like bloody and shit and like messed up my little like white button up or something. That's and was like, you're a zombie now. And I think my brother was like a ninja and like, actually I think both of my brothers were ninja. Yeah. I wanted to be different.
You had to have 3 ninjas.
No, you can't. Do you remember any other Halloween costumes you had when you were
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was definitely like a Power Ranger. I was definitely like, oh man. I know I've been a lot of things. I've never phoned it in and been anything that would be like the Renaissance Fair clothing that's in my basement, though.
Okay. I was actually about to bring that up because I was going to ask if you dressed up for any like conventions or anything.
No,
I would
never,
probably consider,
but I totally would.
I personally consider like a Ren Fair to be like kind of like a similar idea to that where you dress up to go to
I've definitely done that a lot.
Well, tell me about that because I've never been to a Renaissance Fair, so I don't really know what that's all about. If that makes sense. I
mean, like the Renaissance fairs that you go to, they are all different. You know, some of them are bigger and more well-funded. Some of them are like smaller. But every Renaissance fair will have like a few things for sure. They'll always have at least one big central place for drinking and like live music that will typically be of the era or like akin to something that would be of the era. They'll all have shows of people who are like juggling or doing magic or, you know, like Shakespeare, like takes on like Shakespeare stuff or like lots of artists, lots of like musicians. And these are people that do what is called the circuit, which is like literally it's just like the carny life, you know, like they like drive around the country as these places open and close and they like do their shows around the country and they like live in RVs and shit. And then there's always going to be a bunch of vendors, a bunch of like jewelry vendors, you know, like wooden goods, maybe like swords or armor. And then, of course, obviously a bunch of food. Like the classic is like the turkey leg or like food on a stick. People love food on a stick.
Food on a stick. I mean, that's a Renaissance delicacy.
I love food on a stick. Personally, I think a lot of food tastes better on a stick.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, like
corn dogs.
Maryland Renaissance Fair is like, I would say like my fair, like that's where I like grew up. And you know, you get your like mac and cheese on a stick. You got your pork chop on a stick. You got your steak on a stick. You got your... You got your like meatballs on a stick. Like everything's on a fucking stick if you need it to be. And sometimes you just need it to be.
As you said, know? I'm sure food tastes better on a stick.
And then also it's worth mentioning. So obviously people like show up in what we call garb.
Okay.
We don't say costume, we say you're in garb. And people show up and most people have like their one outfit that they like wear. And then some people are like extreme hobbyists and have been collecting their whole life, like my father. And like he every weekend like crafts. He crafts an outfit that he's gonna wear. Or like typically every weekend will be a different one. There's like Pirate Weekend or Scottish Weekend or sometimes they'll do like a Day of Wrong where it's like stormtroopers and kilts, that kind of thing. And also worth mentioning is that there's like community organizations kind of around the country that like the Horde, which which are a bunch of like people that like to dress up as barbarians. And so they'll be like Horde Weekend or like Horde Day where a bunch of people that are in the Horde, like it's like a Facebook group, like they join. And they like all show up in their barbarian shit and like they have like banners and like horns and they go around fair all day like taking over bars.
Interesting.
And there's like pirates. The pirates are always a big group as well. It's super fun. It's like, it's basically a bunch of nerds reveling in the fact that they can go full nerd.
Yeah.
And what's also fun about it is that it's very easy to meet people.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just like, if you're in garb and someone else is in garb, it's kind of just like very easy to go up and talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Especially because the amount of alcohol that circles around those places is just like fucking insane. So, you know, people literally spend all day just straight up drinking.
Yeah.
And then, you know, there's always like a bar that's more risky and it's like a bunch of people just like making out and shit. And then there's like a bar that's like more family. More...
One of my friends was like really trying to like get me to go to the Maryland like Renaissance Festival. And not to say that I like didn't have an interest in going. I really wanted to go. And you mentioned like I would be able to dress up like in some of the Renaissance clothing that you guys have.
I could do you up good.
But my friend was like, you have to go, George, so that you can drink from the milk maidens. And I was like looking at it, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
When was that, this year?
This was like a month ago.
Oh, okay.
It was Dia.
Yeah, a new thing at Ren Fairs around the country is that they like to have Ren Fair is also a place that a lot of people in like the kink community find themselves because
really flourish.
I mean, there's a lot of like leather and sex positive people there.
Yeah.
So a lot of like people that you would consider alternative are there. You know, I grew up like seeing a lot of people with like piercings and tattoos, and that's like so normal to me in a way that I think it's not to a lot of people.
Yeah, she showed me like this video of like this one like woman like pouring milk into someone else's mouth, and they're like,
that's what I was gonna get to.
They're berating like the person drinking, and Dia's like, George, you have to do this.
They have this new thing where at some of the like the drink places they have little like strops, so you like grab them, and then the person will like pour the drink in your mouth until you drink it all, and you probably just have to like pay extra or like tip or something.
Yeah,
and you know it's like a thing for people.
Have you done it?
No.
Okay.
I've not done it. I don't really care to.
No, that's not why I would go to a Renaissance
fair. I think Ren Fairs are like, for me, I've been so much that like growing up, I had like a group of people, like friends that I would just like see there. And I was there so often. I was what you would call a patron. A patron? Which is somebody that goes almost every weekend or every weekend, but doesn't actually work there. Okay. And I would be friends with a lot of people, like kids of people that did actually work there. Okay. And we'd like hang out at like one spot. It happened to be the Jacob's Ladder at like my fair. I was what I would consider a professional heckler for a long time. Nothing to me is more fun than interacting with drunk adults while they're trying to climb up a Jacob's Ladder. Oh yeah, it's so funny. You know, like tip of advice, watch out for the fucking gravity. keep in mind that you will fall. And then they're like, oh, so you can do it, and then you like do it. Were you good at it? No. Oh, okay. I could do it for sure, but I had friends that could like walk it up and down, like backwards, forwards, climb it, swing around. I saw some adults even would only, because you know, it's a place that you drink, they would only be able to do that shit drunk. Like, they'd like try it sober. I mean, they probably drive better drunk too. Probably. They'd try it sober and they'd fall over, and then they'd come back like hours later and they'd be like, watch this. And hands tied behind the back, walk up, walk down. It's like, what is wrong with you? Well, famously, being drunk like removes the gravity debuff that's like active at all times. That's a really good point. So it's, you know, they don't have to experience gravity anymore. They can basically just like jump up there. Yeah, you know, in a single leap. Yeah, for sure. What you said about Renaissance Fair being just like a place for people to like nerd out is also true for like conventions, like cosplay conventions. Yeah. That's why I was like kind of thinking of them like in a similar boat, because it's just like places where people can go to like fully just express like, I love this thing. I love these aspects of pop culture, media, just like extensions of themselves. And that's where I think I really like flourish personally. Not really flourish, but like, are you looking at my udders again? I went so long. I get. You were talking about. You were like staring up at the ceiling, and I was like, "Wow, he's really deep in thought." No, you were avoiding looking at my udders. But no, I think I love conventions. That's something that I've recently gotten like super into. Is you know, dropping a fat $80 to $100 to go to a convention, and also like dropping like $60 or so dollars to like buy a costume so I can go, because that's something that I find very fun. There are a few stories that like make me really like appreciative of the fact that I'm like very brazen when it comes to just like dressing up and going out in public to do things. Yeah, because it was something that like I definitely was a little bit self-conscious of, you know, coming out of middle school, going into high school, being like, man, I really, you know, was walking around in a cow suit. I was walking around as a banana, you know, and that's like super weird. And like, I definitely deserve to be bullied more. But no, but like it worked for you is the thing, is because I feel like most people would do that and then feel like an obvious, visible sense of shame.
and maybe they should.
and maybe they should, but more truthfully, maybe they shouldn't, right?
Yeah.
And I think what you were able to do so well is kind of just be like, yeah, and fucking what, asshole?
For a while, that was definitely like a front that I put on because I was like a little bit self-conscious of the fact. The first thing that like made me start to like reconsider, and I'll get back to conventions in a second, don't worry.
Yeah.
One thing that I did made me reconsider, like maybe it wasn't like the worst thing in the world, was during senior year, like just randomly in the middle of it, I get a message from this person, and they messaged me and they were like, hey, you probably don't remember me because I dropped out of like middle school in the middle of 8th grade or like near the end of 8th grade. They like moved away, but they messaged me and they were like, yeah, you know, I really had a rough go of it in middle school, but I always appreciated you being very brave and very kind and very like open about yourself with your cow costume and your banana costume. They mentioned that specifically in the message. They're like, I just wanted to let you know that I really, you know, appreciated that. It made me feel more excited to go to school. Yeah. And that's probably one of the reasons why even to this day I'm not ashamed of. You know.
I think I give you a lot of shit about it. But at the
rightfully so.
But at the same time, you and me together have also done ridiculous costume stuff. And you know, on my own, I also would/have done that kind of thing. Like I think that it's just kind of at a certain point you have to like just have fun. Yeah. And I think that it's you just being able to have fun at a younger age than most people are able to. Yeah. Which I think is super impressive.
What that actually brings me into my next story a little bit. It's not really like a story. It's just something that like my dad said to me that really like touched my heart. It was like right before I was leaving for college, we were talking about like, you know, my history, like dressing up in conventions. And he was like, you know, George, he's like, you know, George, I thought it was pretty weird when you were doing that, but you kind of inspired me a little bit. You kind of taught me that life is about having fun. And I kind of want to start dressing up in costumes of my own. And I was like, oh my God.
That's very awesome. Yeah.
That's so sweet that he started talking to me about like, he wanted to dress up as his favorite characters, you know, like Batman and Kratos from God of War. And I don't think he's done much of that. Yeah. Cause like, you know, he's a working man. He's trying to get me through college. It'd be a little weird if he's just started like buying a bunch of like
dropping a lot. Like, it's very expensive to dress up like that sometimes.
But I mean, I also think, you know, it's important for people just like to splurge, to like spend money on themselves, to just have fun.
Yeah, I think that is like, if you have all this money, part of the point of it, obviously you're supposed to save money, and like it's a little privileged to say this, but part of the point of money is to like spend it and to enjoy it. And like, obviously it's very stressful to not have money, but it's also very stressful to go for a long time and not indulge in joy or like any amount of pleasure. And like, I don't know. I think to a certain point, everybody should engage in a healthy amount of hedonism. Yeah. I was just about to say that. I'm a big proponent of hedonism. And I think that a lot of people think about it and it's like spun as a thing that is like inherently not virtuous, which I think is like ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that it's good. And I think that conventions and things like Renaissance Fair and stuff are a perfect venue for that. And so like, I'm very thankful in a way that I had like this weird ass childhood where like for 3 months out of the year, I was getting dragged along to Renaissance Fair like every weekend. Not because I like wanted to go, don't get me wrong, but also like I was getting dragged along to Renaissance Fair every weekend. And at the time it felt like super weird and like maybe I like didn't want to talk about it all that much. But like now I'm like, oh, well, that was actually super fucking awesome. Like I feel like it definitely taught me a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. And yeah, like more people should go to conventions. Like conventions should be more popular for that reason.
The last story that like really made me start like super embracing like cosplaying and all that is my dad like took me to my first convention right before actually going to college. It was like during that summer, he took me to this convention nearby where we lived. And I decided to go as Deadpool. I decided to bust out my Deadpool costume because I bought it earlier that year, but just didn't find like a use for it. Other than that Summerween party that we went to. Oh, yeah. Which was a time. And yeah, I was in the convention and I was like taking, like pictures with a lot of people. I was interested in someone at the time that was like super into Star Wars. So I saw this really cool Boba Fett like cosplayer going around, and I was like, oh, it'd be great if I got a picture with him to send to her. Yeah. So I like go up to him and I'm like, hey, is it okay if I get a picture with you? I think your costume is super awesome. And he looks me in my eyes and he goes, no way. And I'm like, oh.
He's in character.
He's in character. I'm like, oh, okay. And obviously, if the cosplayer says no, it's no. So I fuck off. But later on, I'm walking around the convention and this mother, she stops me and she's like, excuse me, me and my daughter have been looking for a Deadpool all day. We couldn't find any. And she saw you and she was like, Deadpool, it's her favorite superhero. Would you be able to take a picture with her? And, I'm thinking back to this like Boba Fett guy. This person is so excited to see me. How could I don't know. Yeah. So I looked this mother in her eyes and I go, no way. Obviously. No, I'm like, absolutely. I take a picture with the daughter. She was like 3 years old. It's kind of weird that's Deadpool, actually
extremely concerning that Deadpool was her favorite. But
but you know what? It's a cute moment nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely.
She was dressed as Princess Peach. It was super adorable.
That's super cute.
And I get up and she's like, thank you so much. And she goes the other way and I'm like, yeah, have a nice day. And I turn around. One of the most impressive Deadpools walks into like the convention center and he has like a tutu and like fake boobs like on the outside, like a boob bra, and it's like, oh my god, I got chumped. I got sitcom chumped.
Yeah. But the thing about like conventions is like that is like a lot of people are scared to go in costume because they're like worried they'll be like judged or whatever. But nobody at a convention would ever do that, ever. Arguably, you'd get more judged for showing up without a costume, which you still wouldn't.
No.
But like, it's just like, this like ridiculous, very understandable, but like kind of ridiculous fear that people have. I wish that I have gone to more conventions. Like, I know I went to some as a kid that I don't really remember. Like, I went to like FairyCon as like a kid a few times. Okay. Which is kind of like an extension of Renaissance Festival. I've been to a tattoo convention before.
Oh yeah.
And once me and my chef snuck into a furry convention.
Oh, okay. I've always wanted to go to one,
which I won't get into here.
Okay.
But like I've been to that kind of thing. But I've not been to like a real like nerd convention, which is fucking ridiculous considering how much of a nerd I am.
You gotta go.
Granted, the type of nerd I am is kind of I mean, I guess this isn't true, but one of the types of nerds that I am is very like geared towards Renaissance Festival. So it makes a lot of sense that I've really only been to that. But
you are also super into like, comic book characters, exactly. As you said. So like a convention would be like a fantastic place for you to like
would be.
Fit in. I definitely recommend going. I've went to a couple over like the course of, college. I went to one sophomore year actually. And I went as Deadpool in a maid outfit. Yeah. And that was super cool. The most recent one that I went to was Richmond GalaxyCon. Okay. And I actually went as a duo costume with one of my friends. We cosplayed from a little show called Has Been Hotel, which is super rough, super embarrassing to like admit on the internet. Yeah. But it was a show that we were both like, unfortunately, very into, mostly as like a bit because like we thought the show's terrible.
Also, if you had fun, you had fun. Like whatever.
Exactly. It's a fun show. I don't know. It's terrible, but it's slop. It's a Mr. Beast burger.
I love slop.
It's like it's pretty terrible, but like it's like so good. I can't stop
eating.
We went as Adam, the first man, and his like right hand lady Loot. It was very awesome. Lots of people took pictures of us. That's something that I'm not. Like I'm still like getting used to,
Yeah, when you go to conventions and you like dress up, or you're just like anywhere. And I guess like specifically conventions are like at Ren Fair, like I've been like stopped. You do just have to kind of get used to that in a weird way.
Yeah. And this was it. It was a very special like day for me because dressing up as these two characters was actually my friend's idea. And she's like, she's super introverted. She doesn't like to make like a spectacle, but she like thought it would be really fun. Like she suggested the two characters for us. And she was like, I think it'd be really fun. And that was like a big moment of me realizing like, oh, she's really like broken out of her shell.
Yeah. That's super awesome.
Since like the beginning of...
And what a good way to do it too.
Yeah. And she was like especially like confused about the people just being like, hey, can I just take pictures of you guys?
Yeah.
And I remember specifically one time, like we were pretty used to people coming up to us and being like, can we take pictures with you? Can we take pictures of you? And this like little 12-year-old boy walks up to us and he's like, hey, can I take a picture with you? And I'm like, yeah, sure, you could take a picture with us. And he shushes me. He goes, shh. No, not with you, with her.
What you meant to say is he was rizzing her up.
I was getting lil broed.
That's embarrassing, dog.
And I look at Elizabeth, she's like, sure. And, she takes the picture with him. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I just got fucking punked.
Dude, how fucking embarrassing is that?
I got fucking chumped. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite convention memories is just getting absolutely shat on by this little chud in a t-shirt, not even wearing a costume. And Hazbin Hotel was like the big attraction for this one because like a lot of the voice actors actually came out.
Oh, sure, yeah.
To do like a Q&A session. And we didn't get to the chance to ask a question. We were in line.
Yeah.
But I watched back like one of the videos that people like one of the voice actors posted, and we're like very visible in the background because her face is painted completely white, so she looks like a ghost among like dark shadowy faces. And that was super cool. The last convention that I specifically remember, and I'll move on from the convention stuff soon. I know I'm taking up too much time with that. But freshman year, my big Halloween costume was a maid outfit.
Oh yeah.
And this maid outfit has taken me far. It has
definitely a good investment for you.
It has gotten me into places and experiences. It has given me experiences that like would never have happened if I never bought that maid outfit. Such as the first day that I got it, obviously I wore it like out, not for Halloween, just fun.
Around.
And I was in Panda Express with specifically my friend Julie, and she's very important to the story. And we're waiting in this super long ass line for Panda Express. And I noticed the table next to me, it like has a big like motorcycle helmet on top of it, right? And I like point at it and I'm like, you ride a motorcycle? And he's like, yeah, man, I like your maid outfit. And I'm like, thanks, man. And I was expecting that to be just the end of the story. Yeah. But then Julie pipes up and she talks to him and she talks to him. Sorry. You've corrupted me.
She talks to him and she goes,
you should let him ride the motorcycle. Yeah, she's literally like, you should rev to her, let him ride on that thing. And I'm like, oh, what a funny joke. And the guy's like, sure. And he grabs his motorcycle helmet and like walks me outside to his motorcycle bike. And he just gets on it and he's like, hop on, man. So there's just like there's a video of me just like riding around on this guy's motorcycle, this random stranger's motorcycle. I didn't have a helmet because the other one that he had did not fit my fuck ass fro.
You don't need that kind of thing.
And he just took me like around like the block a little bit, like around the city. It was like a quick 10-minute adventure where we were talking about like, like our majors, why.
Was he flirting with you?
I mean, he had a girlfriend, so I doubt it, but maybe. Okay. I don't know. I don't know.
The thing is, like, when you're a public spectacle in that way, people crave to interact with you because most people don't have like weird stories. Yeah. Most people wish that they had weird stories.
Unlike us who kind of yearn a little bit for just a regular day out.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah. But also, I think that both of us really enjoy doing weird shit that then creates a weird story for somebody else. Yeah. Because I think most people don't have them and most people want to have weird stories. So like, I think that's partially why when you're walking around and you're like in a costume or something, you're like, at least for me, I'm like, yeah, like fucking whatever. I'm invincible. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Yeah. Because you're like, I'm already so absurd that I'm just giving these people content and this is good for me and them. Like, it's good all around.
Yeah. So there's just like a little video of me like riding around on this guy's motorcycle. At one point, a reminder, I don't have a helmet on. A police officer pulls up like right behind us. And I remember like turning around and making direct eye contact with the officer. And I'm like, I'm hoping like, please don't pull us over for me not having a helmet. Yeah. He didn't.
He's like, pull over to arrest on that thing.
That's what he would have said but he let us go. He didn't. He
very kind man.
He did not care. He noticed.
And they say that they're all bad.
No, not all cops are bastards, and I've always said that.
Always.
Yeah. So I'm sure I put a little video of me on the motorcycle. And the other crazy like thing that happened because I owned a maid outfit was I was a part of like a model walk.
Sure.
At VCU, there was a VCU convention. RamCon is what they called it, and they had a maid cafe, and they were really looking for like maids who would volunteer to like come in and like serve food to people.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is perfect. I have a maid outfit. Yeah. So there's just like a distinct memory I have of just like being in this room of like 300 people and all of them like seeing me walk down, like, and all the other like models that they had were just like regular like attractive people, regular like people that were like looked good in a maid outfit. And then you got like me strolling in with my kitty cat headphones, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And I mew at them or like mog at them, and everyone's like, that's
probably a bunch of people's favorite.
Yeah, I was just the fucking weird guy, and I didn't even serve food. All the other maids like rushed to do it, and I was like, I guess I'll just walk around and talk to the locals.
Yeah,
I don't know.
What else is there to do?
That was just
certainly nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
So you have all these costumes. What's your favorite Halloween costume that you've done?
My favorite Halloween costume that I've done,
or one that you think was like the best put together. You know what I mean?
I mean, honestly, I'd probably put the maid outfit at number one. That's one that I still love to. That's one that I still love to
this day on that thing.
Love to bust out to this day. Also, the Waluigi one has gotten me far. And this wasn't a Halloween costume. This is a regular costume. That I wore for a convention, for the Has Been Hotel convention, the Adam, because that's one that I actually did like make myself.
That's
like,
very cool.
We bought a robe and we like spray painted it. Something I forgot to mention about this convention is that in the middle of it, I got a huge nosebleed. So now my costume has like blood splatters like on the front, which kind of like ruined it.
Oh, that ruins it? It's not in any way thematic or something?
No, because in the show, like angels bleed like gold.
Oh,
gold
you
blood,
could you could say that you're, what's his name?
Adam.
You're Adam, but he had a nosebleed.
I could say that.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite costume that you've worn, or?
Yeah, one year, I think maybe freshman year of high school, I went as Dr. Horrible.
Oh, that's awesome. Sorry.
Yeah.
You showed me Dr. Horrible a long time ago, and
yeah, I think that Dr. Horrible, if you have not watched it, I'm a very large proponent of getting everybody in my life to watch this short film series. It was made during the TV writer's strike, not the more recent, the older one.
Yeah.
And it stars Neil Patrick Harris. It's like a comedy musical thing. It's just super funny. It's super good. And like all the music is like really good, and the actors in it are super talented. But yeah, I like put together like a whole thing. I got like a lab coat. I spray painted like goggles to look right.
Yeah.
I got like white boots and like glove. Like I put the whole thing like together properly. I would probably wear that. I think that is like a very good cosplay. Like I would definitely do that. I would put it back on because I think it's also very well executed. It
was very well executed, and also it's like a very niche character that like if people see it, they really appreciate it.
Yeah, and if you don't, you're like, oh, it's just like some guy being a mad scientist, and it still works.
It still works.
I really like costumes like that, where it's like, if you don't know who this character is, you can look at it and be like, okay, this is this genre of thing. It still works. Or you could look at it and be like, is this one niche thing? Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this thing isn't even that niche. Like Dr. Horrible did like a takeover that year in the Emmys. Like it was like,
it's true.
At the time, it was very popular.
Where does the mustard costume lie on your?
I was wondering if we were going to bring that up.
One of probably one of my most cherished Forrest memories that I have is when you, me, and a couple of our other friends were in Target.
Yeah.
And we found 4 mustard costumes. This was like right around the time of Halloween. We found 4 mustard costumes just in there. And
I mean, look, you're like 16 or 17 and you're in this kind of like mini city scenario and you're in Target and you're like looking for something to do. Like you're basically bored.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know, I have like $50. What the fuck do I do with it?
Yeah.
So you find yourself in Target and it happens to be near Halloween. So you find yourself in the back of Target.
Yeah.
And there happens to be 4 matching mustard suits.
Why wouldn't you buy that?
So you find yourself at checkout.
I remember specifically, right before, like we were walking around the Target with these mustard costumes on.
Mm-hmm.
That's when someone asked me to be their drug
That's
mule.
when someone came up to us and went, hey, you guys got some time? And we were like, yeah, man, what's up? And he went, so you guys looking to make some money? And we went, I mean, sure.
We just blew like $40.
Yeah, we're about to buy these. And he was like, all right, well, I got a little like side business that I could like get one of you for. Not you. You look like you might be good for this.
He skipped the three white people.
The 3 white guys.
And targeted me specifically as the guy that does weed and was like, you need to be my drug mule. Couldn't have been more wrong.
You want to carry some stuff for me? You want to deliver some stuff?
Yeah, and we were just like...
Middle of Target.
Really desperate for work, I guess.
Well, it's
for employers.
4 teenage-looking boys. Super sketchy.
Yeah. But regardless, all 4 of us were just walking around this little like district, this little shopping district in mustard outfits, just like walking around, just like harassing
we
locals.
had it crafted in our mind. I think we got these suits and I was like, so obviously we're gonna wear this around, but like, what's our bit? And I was like, oh, well, it's International Mustard Day.
Yeah.
Don't you guys know that? And you guys all went, oh, well, of course it's International Mustard Day.
Yeah.
So we like went around the center and we were like walking in line and we're all like, oh, happy International Mustard Day. Oh, us, we're just celebrating.
Yeah. And what I love specifically is sometimes people would like come up to us later on and they're like, hey, I looked it up.
Yeah.
International Mustard Day was 3 months ago. And we'd be like, your phone's wrong.
Yeah, we'd be like, no, I'm pretty sure you're wrong.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for International Ketchup Day.
And some people would like come up to us and be like, what do you think of ketchup? And we're like, oof. Don't get us started.
Yeah, please don't bring that up.
Do not get us started. That's probably some people's like story that they tell.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things that we've done as a unit.
Yeah.
Probably ever. I think that and also like the amount of like people that we just saw like from across the street like take pictures of us.
Oh yeah.
There was this one like kid that was like, yo, you gotta be on TikTok.
Dude, I remember this guy.
But only I think to you.
No, I thought it was to you.
I don't know.
What doesn't matter.
But it was like he like went up to one of us and he was like, yo, you gotta be on my TikTok, come on. And then like we fucking did it.
Yeah.
And we never found the TikTok, unfortunately.
No, but I don't think he ever uploaded it, but like a couple weeks later, that guy did blow up on TikTok.
He did, yeah,
because
blew up.
He was the one who started being like asking people for a hug to get over like my insecurities or whatever. And like his original TikTok like fucking exploded and like he went big and I was like, oh, I really wish that
would have been nice.
I really wish he posted that like mustard man, that's what we call ourselves, the mustard man TikTok, so that like I could find his channel and like look back on it. And be like, this is not proof that it happened, but like this is just a funny story.
But my absolute favorite thing about that is that we took off the costumes at some point and we were just still like chilling around the area. And we overheard conversations of people like being like, did you guys see, like, I guess they must have been like meeting their friends up like later. They were like, did you guys see like, there were like some guys in like mustard outfits around here? Like just straight up like people just like talking about it. That was my absolute favorite part of that. Yeah,
that was glorious. And I'm sure that like a lot of like parents like went home and told like their kids or like told like people like went home and told their family that like we might still be like the story people tell. You know how like people always have like a story that they always tell, like, yo, you got to talk to this guy. You got to hear about his Batman story.
Yeah.
We're people's mustard story.
We probably are. I think that's beautiful.
One thing that I wanted to ask you for is, we kind of got off the trick-or-treating route, but something that I went into this episode wanted to ask you is, how old were you when you stopped trick-or-treating? Because mine is embarrassingly late.
I think that I was into trick-or-treating pretty late, I think. But there was one Halloween that I was like so sick.
Okay.
And so I couldn't, and then I didn't trick-or-treat after it.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have been down to.
Mm.
I think that I stopped trick-or-treating at like 14, 15.
Okay. All right. So that makes my answer less embarrassing because I stopped trick-or-treating at 16.
Well, why would the thing is, it's like nobody cares if you go. Like,
no. No.
Nobody in the world cares if you go. And why should you stop? Because like at some point it's just free candy. And most of the time, like Halloween parties and events are going to be on the actual weekends anyways, instead of like whatever like fucking Wednesday Halloween is on.
Yeah, Thursday. It's on a Thursday this year.
So it's like you should take every opportunity you have for something free, especially something like candy, right?
Yeah. I mean, the reason why I was going trick-or-treating, I wasn't like, oh fuck yeah, I want to go trick-or-treating
also, it's a
today.
good way to hang out with people.
Speaking of which, I went trick-or-treating as a date with my then partner.
I never did that.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not true. I mean, I guess I did. Yeah.
That was one of the Halloweens where I wasn't prepared with a costume. I wanted to go as Kermit because I did a scene in my like summer acting camp where I was like playing as Kermit and he was trying to like steal someone's identity. It was awesome. Yeah. And I wanted to like buy a real Kermit costume, but like I just never got around to ordering that, I guess. One thing that's really good about having a birthday in October is that my Halloween costumes were always paid for. They were always free.
That is nice.
So that year I just went as Jim from The Office. Boo, lame.
Super lame.
I mean, I wrote book on my face because he was like Facebook.
Yeah,
it was lame.
It's okay. Everybody has to have a lame one.
Yeah, and I went trick-or-treating like in her neighborhood. Her brother was there with us. So that was super awkward.
It's a little rough.
Because he would like see us like holding hands and he genuinely like came in and like moved our hands out of the way and was
crazy.
like, let me ask you about your future, George. And it's like,
wow.
I'm sorry. I'm just.
Yeah, I mean, when I did that, like with like people I was dating, we were at least cemented enough to where it was like not weird.
Yeah, I mean, this was like a month in. So it was like, it was like kind of whatever. Yeah, I remember specifically what this old lady like came up to us and was like, oh, you guys want some chocolate? And you guys want some Russian chocolate?
Oh, dude, you gotta say yes, dude.
I did say yes.
Foreign chocolate is always better.
And I like bit into it and I was like, this is pretty good. And I read the label. The chocolate was infused with vodka.
Oh yeah, no, those are super good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It typically has like in the middle, it has like not pure vodka. Obviously, it's like cream and stuff. Yeah, I love it.
It was very good. As a joke, I was standing behind the old lady as she was giving like the rest of the chocolate to them. I like as a joke like spat it out like behind her to be like, hey guys, this chocolate is weird, but like no, the chocolate was good.
No,
the chocolate was kind of fire. And I remember like afterwards it was kind of like we kind of did like a mafia trade between like her brother and like her brother's friend.
Oh, I mean that was the best part of. So that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
First question.
Yeah.
What was the vessel in which you trick-or-treated with? Me, pillowcase.
Yeah, I think I went with a pillowcase a couple of times.
Okay. That's not an important question. I don't want to spend time on it.
Okay.
But more importantly, you're trading Halloween candy, whatever. Mm-hmm. What's your best get? And what are you saving for like last, like you fucking don't care about it, you're whatever.
My favorite candy at the time was Reese's peanut butter cups, which was crazy because I don't even like peanut butter.
Shake my goddamn fucking hand, man.
That was just the best. That was the best candy. I'm sorry, it was at the time the best candy.
Yeah.
And I don't even really like peanut butter that much, but like something about peanut butter cups is just like,
oh my god, and it like. And you want to know the pumpkin ones have more peanut butter than the cups do.
Really?
Yeah, if you like cut them open. The pumpkin ones have a decent amount more.
Interesting.
So they're not as sweet and they're like saltier. It's nice.
That's really good. And I assume it's the same for you, Forrest?
I mean, I love that one. My thing that I would always get from other people, and I'd be like, yeah, sure, I'll trade my like normal Hershey's or like my milk and cookies Hershey's, like things I don't like. Mm-hmm. I was always down to get someone's dots. Oh. This is probably one of my least popular takes ever.
A hot take.
But I like dots a lot. I like how dense they are. Like I don't think any other candy is that dense. And and I really enjoy that weird texture.
You would have been someone I would have been eyeing during like the candy trade because you would have taken the dots away and loved them and give me back something like Crunch Bars, which I also
no
love.
way.
You wouldn't give me those ones. Right,
Crunch Bars, $100,000. Super underrated candy.
Super good.
It's like just a better Twix.
I don't know about that. I'm a big Twix guy, so I don't know if I'd agree with you on that.
You know what sucks though? Fucking Three Musketeers.
Yeah.
And the Milky Way.
I'm not a big Milky Way guy. I think Twix clears.
I agree.
And I think Snickers.
Snickers is okay.
I think it's better than those two.
Yeah, I like the addition of peanuts in there.
Yeah, it's very nice. I don't like Almond Joys that much.
I like Almond Joys a lot.
I also used to be really big into Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I'm massive into gummy candies. Like before, especially American chocolate candies, I don't like that much. I'm unfortunately a bit of a chocolate snob.
Okay.
But I think that gummy candies are like super
really
good.
good.
I mean,
really
I just like the texture.
I don't know. I liked the trading was fun. They took away a surprising amount of the candy that I didn't really like Twizzlers. I wasn't a big fan of at the time. Yeah, I also just love candy trading in general. I would come to school the next day and be like, all right, take my fucking Whoppers. I don't want that shit.
Yeah, it's fun because it makes you bartering should come back.
Yeah.
There's not a more fun way of paying for something than bartering.
I would be extremely pleased if we got rid of money and instead traded like candy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd be so hyped.
Like take my lemon heads. You love lemon heads.
I do like
and
lemon heads.
I'll take your Baby Ruth. You know what I mean? Like I'll settle for that one.
I like Baby Ruth actually.
They're fine.
Yeah, they're better than Milky Way, but I feel like they're direct competitors in my head. I don't know why though.
Yeah,
maybe it's because they're both kind of unwanted generally.
I think that it's about time we wrap up.
Yeah, I think we got to hit up the trick-or-treating now while it's still fresh.
This is being uploaded on Halloween, and we're in costume, so we gotta get.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta get
going.
Yeah.
Well, but before we go though, which one of us was spookier this episode?
Which one of us was spookier? Also, which one of us had a better mood? It has to be me.
I don't even think you should ask that question.
Yeah, you're right. Which one of us was spookier this episode? Was it Spooky Sally, which is of course George,
or was it Spooky Samuel, which is of course Forrest? Yeah. Thank you so much for watching today's episode, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
We'll catch you in November. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.